Partitioning shapes. Your learning target today is I can partition shapes into parts with equal areas and create a unit fraction. And you'll know you're successful when you can make a foldable with shapes and label the unit fraction. Third graders, today we're going to be doing a cool foldable for math before we do our actual assignment. So with that, we are going to be learning how to partition shapes, which are to fold shapes to make a fraction. So what does all of that mean? Well, I will show you. First, you'll need your Volume 2 math book. Okay, it's the skinnier one and it says Volume 2. Everybody should have one. And you're going to be finding the page that's right before page 569. So here's page 569, and of course the page before it would be 568. And it's this page. It doesn't have a page number on it. That's why I told you to try to find 569 and go to the page right before it. And it's called foldable. It's called foldable at the top. And so you're going to tear that paper out of your notebook, or your math book, excuse me, and we are going to follow the directions to fill out the foldable and to do that part together. So tear that out right now. Great, so mine is torn out. Next, you are going to need some scissors. So for the first step, we are only going to cut out that top strip that's yellow, and so I'm going to cut along that dashed line that has the scissors right at the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this aside because the top does have directions, and I will be following along with that. So you could just set it aside if you need that extra visual, and then if not, just throw it away. So let's cut out that gold yellow strip off of the top of your paper. Okay, so my gold strip is cut off. I'm just going to set that aside. And now I should have this in front of me. So this is like the bluish side. There's a number 1, and then we have some 3s down here with a bar on top, and then we have some 4s with the bar on top. I will talk about what that is in just a minute. On the other side, we have kind of like the same thing, but with 2s, 6s, and 8s, okay? So for the first step, what we are going to do is I'm going to cut everything that is green, okay? So it's like a lime green. I'm going to cut across. I'm going to cut across right here. And so then I will have 3 pieces of paper, the ones with the 2s, the 6s, and the 8s, okay? So just cut on the dashed green lines. There are 2 of them, and by the end you will have 3 pieces of paper at the end. So I am done with my scissors now, so I'm going to put those away. I don't need them anymore. So right now, I want you to grab that piece of paper with the 2s, and then there's a number 1 on the other side, okay? So with these yellow dots that you see, the dotted line, we are going to fold that part. So I'm going to fold it right now. And when I fold that, what do you notice about where the crease is? It's down the middle, right? So it's like cut in half. So that's what these 2s are. This is the unit fraction for 1/2 and 1/2. Okay? So that's what this fraction is. On this side of the crease, right here, sorry, it's hard with the camera. On this side of the crease, this is 1/2. And on the other side, we have 1/2. 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 whole. That's why there's a number 1 on the back. Because when I have 2 halves, they make a whole. Okay? So that's our unit fraction, 1/2 and 1/2. Because each piece is that fraction. Okay? So let's look at the other one that we have. This time we have 6s on the bottom, and then we have some 3s on the back. Well, what does that mean? Let's follow those yellow dots again and fold on each yellow dot, and then you'll see what I mean. I did all my folding, and I have 6 pieces now that I can actually see with my foldable. If you go on the back, I see some extra pieces that are folded, but I also see, if you can see better on yours than I would look at the blue line on this side, and then the other blue line. That's where also the crease is at. But then we have an extra crease down the middle of each one. And that's because sixths and thirds, right, are related fractions, okay? So when I look at this side with the sixes, you can see each little piece would belong to a unit fraction. So what would be the unit fraction of just one piece? So if I wanted to just take a look at this one piece right here, what would that unit fraction be? Well, the bottom number, which we are going to learn later this week, is called the denominator, is a 6. So what would be one piece of that out of the 6? 1, right? That's 1/6. Why is the denominator, that bottom number of the fraction, 6? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces total. So that's why the bottom number is 6. Just like, why was the bottom number 2 right here? Because there was 1, 2 pieces, okay? So think of the bottom number, the denominator, as your total. That's how many total pieces I have. And what was one little piece? If this was like a brownie, and I cut it into 6 pieces, what would be one of those little pieces? 1/6. So that's why each little piece is 1/6. So please fill that out on your foldable. Your top number, or your numerator, is the 1, because that would be one piece out of the 6 total. Okay? Now let's go to the back. Remember, the fold is different, but you can see that it's folded on the blue lines. And that's because we can split 6 in half, right, into 3s. And so thirds are our next fraction. So again, think of this maybe this time as a breadstick, okay? If this was like a breadstick and I had to share it with 2 other people, so that would mean I would have to have 3 pieces altogether. What would be the unit fraction of my slice? It would be 1/3, because I would have 1 piece of the breadstick out of 3 pieces total. And so that would be my portion. And then if I was sharing one with you, you would have another one. And then if I shared it with one of your friends, it would be another 1/3. Because 1, 2, 3, 3 of these total out of 3 pieces would be 1 whole breadstick. All right, for this last one, I will want you to fold this one by yourself. I already did the folding with the last strip. So we have 8s on one side, and then it's 4s on the other side. I want you to do the folding by yourself, and I want you to also think about what would be the unit fraction. So think about if this was a breadstick again. I think that's a good example because it kind of looks like a breadstick. It's long and skinny. And if I had to share it this time with 7 other people, which would mean 8 pieces would have to be cut to get total to come up with equal pieces, what would be the unit fraction of one of those pieces? And think about what we did for the other pieces of the foldable, and then do the same on the other side with the 4s, okay? So please do that right now, and then you can continue the video when you are ready. All right, so your unit fraction should have been 1/8, right? So if I had to cut this into 7 pieces, because if I cut it 7 times, I will come up with 8 pieces, right? That's how many folds I had. Let's count to make sure. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folds. Yep, and that makes 8 pieces. That unit fraction should be 1/8. That's how I would say that, 1/8. And then on the other side, since I can split 8 in half, That's why I can work with fourths on the other side. And you can see that the fold is also on that deep purple line, and then there's some folds right in the middle because, as you can see, I hope you're noticing that 1/8, if I folded this so that you could see, 1/8 is exactly the same as the fraction 1/4. They're exactly the same size. So I'm hoping you're noticing that too. Some fractions are the same as each other, and we'll learn about that eventually too. Those are called equivalent fractions. They are equal or the same. And then, so we have 1/4 on the other side. And so 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. If I put them all together and made that there were 4 pieces out of 4 total, that would be 4/4, which would be 1 whole breadstick. But if I'm only having 1 piece and I have to share the rest with my friends, I only get 1/4 while they get the rest. So with this foldable, it's really important that we remember when we're partitioning shapes. Partition means that I'm like cutting them in half. Sometimes I'm drawing them, sometimes I'm cutting them, sometimes I'm just splitting them in half. That means I'm making a fraction. So have fun today, and I hope to see you soon. Remember, your learning target today is I could partition shapes into parts with equal areas and create a unit fraction. And you'll know you're successful when you can make a foldable with shapes and label the unit fraction.